Good morning, grade 6 students. How are you guys today? I hope you guys are all doing well. I miss you guys all a lot, and I really cannot wait to see you guys again. Today in our social studies class, we're going to be talking about the Nile Valley, a very interesting lesson. It's chapter 4, lesson 1, page 134. Our learning objectives for today's class. First, describe the location and geography of the Nile River. Your second objective, to explain how geography affected the political, economic, and religious structures of the early of civilization of Egypt. So those are your objectives for today's class. After that, I'd like you to watch this video. Very interesting. I'm sure you guys are going to love it. It's about ancient Egypt. So please make sure to click on this link to watch this video. And after you watch the video, we're going to start our lesson. As usual, we're going to start off with our vocabulary for today. So the first word you have for today's lesson is delta. What does delta mean? Delta is a triangle-shaped piece of fertile land formed from soil deposited at the mouth of a river. Next word, cataract. They are rapids or waterfalls. Your next word is arid, very dry. Predict, to tell in advance. And your last word for today's lesson is afterlife. And what does afterlife mean? It means life after death. So those are all the vocabulary words for today's lesson. Make sure to study them very well. And let's get to our next part. So after you read page 135, which is about the land of the Nile, here's a summary of it. Each year, the receding floodwaters of the Nile River deposited silt along the river bank. This fertile soil made the Nile Delta and the Nile Valley the only areas in Egypt where wheat and barley could be grown. For this part, there's your reading check. Your question says, what are the major features of the Nile River? Again, what are the major features of the Nile River? Yes, you're right. The answer is delta, valley, and cataracts. Excellent. After that, I'd like you to watch this interesting video. It's about the Nile River, and it's actually amazing. So I'm sure you guys are going to like it. So watch this video about the Nile River. After you watch it, and after you've read page 136, which is talking mainly about controlling the river, here's a summary of it. Over time, the Egyptians developed agriculture techniques that gave them some control of the Nile. These techniques led to a growing population along the Nile and the need for government. Reading check, your question for this part. How did ancient Egyptians control the flooding waters of the Nile? Again, the question, how did ancient Egyptians control the flooding waters of the Nile? Yes, you're correct. Your answer is with irrigation ditches, dams, and dikes. Amazing. Good job, guys. Next, I'd like to read page 137. She's talking about the source of religion. And here's a summary of it. The unpredictable flooding of the Nile River led the Egyptians to believe that gods and goddesses were responsible for events in nature. Reading check for this part. How did the unpredictability of the Nile floods affect early Egyptians' religious beliefs? How did it affect their beliefs? Yeah, you're right. It led the Egyptians to believe that gods and goddesses were responsible for events in nature. Amazing. Next, I'd like you to read page 138 and 139, mainly talking about two words, the civilization And here's a summary of it. Surplus crops allowed the early Egyptians to develop an advanced civilization. And with surpluses, the Egyptians traveled along the Nile to trade for other resources. Reading check your question for this part. How did trade along the Nile support the growth of Egypt? How did the trade help out in the growth of Egypt? Well, it led to the formation of cities and kingdoms. So, once again, how did trade help? It led to the formation of cities and kingdoms. Good job, guys. Well, that's about it for today's lesson. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really miss you guys all a lot. And once again, stay safe. And I'll be sending off a worksheet along with this PowerPoint presentation. So please make sure to answer the worksheet and send it back to me. Thank you guys. Love you all. And see you soon, my favorite class. Have a good day. Cheers. Bye bye.